Fire, come to you from the Stag Studio with co-host here, Jimmy. Why do we have a lot to talk about this week? This show's going to be pretty heavy on NASCAR, and it is number 2 of our reformatted show. So let's go ahead and dive on in with William Byron's hauler catching on fire in the NASCAR Cup Series on Friday. Catches on fire because of the generator. Luckily, no one was hurt on the car, or no tools were damaged, just all covered in soot. So they got it all out, got it all wiped off, and NASCAR allowed the 24 team to take the car in the night before instead of Saturday. Plus, Hendrick Motorsports sent a backup hauler. So that was a pretty crazy thing. Definitely something you don't see every day. Hire a hauler spin up flames in the middle of the parking lot. AJ Allmendinger wins the Xfinity Series race after winning the Cup Series race last year. He now wins the Xfinity Series race this year, but the Cup Series race this year didn't go as planned. He did get to start on the front row for the final restart, but he had something to deal with, something pretty challenging through the entire race of not having any water halfway through it and his cool suit not working, which makes you more hot. These guys are such athletes. They trained so hard for this, and with him already running the Xfinity Series race, he was already dehydrated and didn't have enough water, and this definitely did not help. On the in-car camera, whenever they were coming to the green-white checker, you could just see it in his eyes. He was exhausted and tired and ready to get out of that car, but he did it, and he got turned in turn 1, but ended up getting a top 10, so good job to AJ there. So he, like I said, just super hot in those cars. You got 150 degrees, 5 to 10 pounds of water weight. He got out of that car and he collapsed on the wall, and his wife and crew members were just putting ice and water all over him, trying to get him cooled down, cool towels and just stuff like that, trying to get AJ cooled back down after a hard-fought race at the Indy Road Course. Kyle Larson slams into Ty Dillon. This was a very hard hit, folks. It was pretty scary. I'm glad everyone was okay. That's just a testament to the Hans device and how NASCAR just keeps all this stuff, these drivers so safe. Helmets, fire suits, seat belts, roll cages, pretty much anything to keep the driver safe. NASCAR is on top of it, and it's mandatory for them to wear it, and that's why the guys can take hard hits like that and just walk away. But Kyle Larson goes airborne after contact. That can tell you how hard of a hit it was. He said his brakes failed but they don't know if why his brakes had failed. They are assuming it's something with the rotors got too hot or the brake fluid started boiling, because I think this is why Eric Almirola hit him in the exact same corner, just not as hard, and I think that may have messed up some of the brake cooling, and the brakes were not getting the correct cooling and they overheated, and he had reported them being soft earlier, so I think that was brakes just overheated, because they worked fine after they cooled down, and they brought it back to the shop. So I'm glad everyone was okay there, and hopefully Kyle Larson can have a better week next week at Michigan. Ross Chastain, I thought this was awesome that he decided to do this. I am really starting to like Ross Chastain. But Ross Chastain going 4 wide into turn 1 in the green-white checkered, and he just decides this is not going to work. See ya. And he goes right around the access route, comes out a car length ahead of our leader, Tyler Reddick. And he stays there, but he did not serve his penalty in turn 12, where he was supposed to. You're supposed to stop in turn 12 and serve a penalty right there if you use the access route and these corners or whatever. So he did not do that, which means he was charged with a penalty and ends up finishing 27th. That was a tough break for Ross Chastain, because he battled hard for that lead, and that was a hard-fought second was what he got. Now, like I said, who did take the checkered flag? It was Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick comes home with the win, his second win of the season, just both on road courses. I think Tyler Reddick's a great driver. He deserves this win. Now, once he said he was leaving RCR and going over to 2311, I was like, this team's not going to be able to rally behind him. But they did, and RCR and that team is showing that, hey, we're going to stay behind him until the day that he leaves, and that's great, because they should have a real shot at going for this championship this year. That would be a huge topic in the NASCAR world, to see RCR get another championship. That would be crazy. Now, in other news, Second, third, and fourth were all rookies. All three NASCAR Cup Series rookies got second, third, and fourth. That is the first time all of NASCAR's rookies have finished in the top 5 in one race. That is awesome. That is really cool to see those rookies getting up there. They ran pretty good throughout the race. I think they all qualified in the top 15 too, so that's good. And we got to see these young guys coming in, and it's kind of like a new wave is coming through NASCAR. We have 30 to 20-year-olds is kind of who's taking over the sport, and those veterans are having a harder time winning. I think it's a lot to do with this new car, and the new car just suits the younger guys better, because the older guys, they've raced that old car for forever. But as we head on over to IndyCar, which was also at the Indianapolis road course, we had a heartbreaker for Colton Herta. He does not get the win because of a clutch problem. He rips out the electrical, allows him to shift underneath the car, so he's unable to go forward anymore, and so he has to retire from the race last week on Austin's Absolute. I thought Herta was going to be able to take his car to victory lane, but he does not. His teammate, though, Alexander Rossi, he was running in second place, and it was just what he needed. It was like a gift, and the announcer's been talking about, is this the day for Alexander Rossi to have a little luck on his side to go to victory lane, where it certainly was. He snaps a 3-year, 49-race winless streak. That is a long, long time, and it is so cool to see how happy those guys are and the relief that's on their face whenever they finally win and get back to victory lane after a couple years of just not being able to get back to victory lane. Now in IndyCar, the championship is heating up. We have some tight races. First through fifth place in the championship is only separated by 50 points. Right now, it is Will Power in the lead with Marcus Ericsson in second, Joseph Newgarden in third. I think he's going to be able to get the championship. He already has 4 wins, most of anybody in the NTT IndyCar Series. So I think with a little luck on his side, he can get a couple more wins. That would be pretty crazy. He gets a couple more wins and wrap the season up with a bow and win the championship. Now heading on over to Formula One, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff that was last week, so I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. Verstappen stretches his championship lead again. Mercedes getting stronger. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, 2-3. And Leclerc, another bad day, finishing outside the top 5 in 6th place. Now for all you guys watching Formula One, see who's going to win the championship. It's pretty clear right now that it's going to be Max Verstappen. He's got a huge championship lead. It would take a lot. Like Max Verstappen would have to not get points almost every race, and Charles Leclerc would have to win every race, because there's almost a 150-point deficit between Leclerc and Verstappen. So that was our second week of our new reformatted show. I'm having so much fun with this, and I'm hoping to get some of the other segments back into the show, like the spotlight and other things like that. Hopefully do a couple more skits, just like I'm still working out the bugs in this show, but like I said, I'm having a lot of fun. And this is a new segment, and we did it last week. It is probably becoming my favorite segment of the show. That's right, folks, it's time for Austin's Absolute, where I look into the future. This week's Absolute, folks, I will look into the future of the NASCAR Cup Series race, which will be at Michigan. Let me look to see who will win. I have it. Ryan Blaney will go to victory lane and get his first points win of the season and clinch his spot in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. And that was Austin's Absolute. Well, folks, that would definitely be crazy. Have 15 winners on the season. I would really like to see that, but I am crossing my fingers for 17 winners. Maybe force NASCAR to let all 17 in. Or everybody with 1 win. Hey, you guys are battling for points now. As we move over to, that's right, folks, it's time to get excited. Get Excited is brought to you by Top Limb Tree Service. If you need a trim, call Top Limb at 417-880-7867. Toby Sherrill and the crew will come out there and take care of all your tree trimming needs. They do a phenomenal job, so if you need a trim, call up Top Limb. Now, one of the coolest races is happening this week, another IndyCar race, which will be at the Nashville Street Course. I love this track. It is so cool to watch them go over the bridge. Now, there are divers and boats down in the water if a driver did take the long fall and have an unwanted swim, but I'm sure none of that will happen because IndyCar does a great job with keeping these guys safe and reinforce the fencing on the bridge. So, with that said, Cup and Xfinity will be at Michigan, and IMSA is going to be at Road America. That's going to be a cool race. I think Road America is a really cool racetrack. Now, moving over to our local races, I got this one wrong last week. Dallas County will be having their Pure Stock Shootout this week, not last week. So we have said a little false information. Sorry about that. But they will also be having their kids' bike races this week. Springfield Raceway will be having the Cash Money Late Models. Twister Alley Raceway will be having the Truck and Tractor Pull. This is a super cool event. They have 4 or 5-year-olds all the way up to adults pulling these sleds. It's going to be a great event. Not what you normally see up there at Twister, but it's going to be, like I said, an awesome event. I'm not going to be able to be there, sadly. I will be at Lucas Oil Speedway for the Slick Mist Shootout, and my mom will be singing the national anthem, the 13th annual Slick Mist Shootout, and my mom will be singing the national anthem. And she's going to be doing a great job, Summer Aziz. And we have a little competition I'm going to let you in on between me and my mom. So basically, when she sings the national anthem at a track, she gets a point. When I win at a racetrack, I get a point. So, folks, right now it's not looking too good for me. But there's still hope. Since I am going to Lucas Oil this weekend, if anyone has a late model that's in need of a driver, me, then call me up, message me on Facebook. My fire suit is washed and ironed, and I am ready to go. Now, Bolivar will be having their weekly dirt races. Now, this is something we haven't seen, but they have converted to dirt, and they'll be having it on the big track. No more asphalt. We need to go out there and support this track. Bolivar, the old asphalt track, Mark Martin and greats like that used to race on that track, so we really need to support this track and help them get back on their feet with this dirt. And things are so expensive right now, and it would be really cool to see Bolivar on dirt thriving. Now, I just want to say something about E3 Speedway. E3 had half of their features rained out last Friday. So, if you did not get to run your feature, dig your wristband out of the trash, set it on the counter, and don't forget to bring it next E3 race, and you'll get in for free if you show it whenever you're checking in if you did not get to race your feature, and if you show it, you will get double features. So, another thing that has been postponed was Friday Night Thunder. The Southwest Missouri Quarter Midget Association was putting on that. It has been postponed because they didn't get to run, and it will be also next week. Now, I have my Southwest Missouri Quarter Midget Association shirt on. Thank you, Beth Taylor. I really like this shirt, and it's really cool. I love wearing it. It's really comfortable, too, so that works out. Now, that is a lot of racing that's happening next week, a lot of local racing. But like always, folks, head on over to ORP TV, and Mr. Craig Stagner will tell you all you need to know about all the local races and big races coming up next week and the rainouts. Had a little bit of heavy rain a couple of days ago. Hopefully we get a nice hot week this week so we can have some great racing this weekend. And I think that about does it for our show. This was our second edition of our reformatted show. I'm having a lot of fun with this. Like I said, I want to get back to doing the spotlight skits and things like that. I'm looking for some Austin's briefs to be coming out. But like I said, thank you everyone for your support. Please make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. And I'm Austin Aziz, Will Man for Hire, come to you from the Stag Studio with co-host here, Jimmy. And remember, folks, this show is sponsored by whatever mom's making for dinner. Have a great rest of your week.
If I gotta drive over the fool in front of me, man, to win, that's just racing.